right, weather is getting pretty sketchy. I am on my way home from work, getting into the car right now, and I feel raindrops, and it just doesn't look great outside. Probably some wind noise on the mic. It is thundering. It's going to be rainy and stormy, but we are going to get in the car together and drive home. So let me get this thing set up, and we'll be right back. So it is raining, which is, I guess, okay in general. You know, rain's rain. It's not a big deal unless you are commuting, in which case rain is, I don't know, it's like the seventh horseman of the apocalypse or whatever the hell. It's not good because no one knows what they're doing. So I do need to also stop and get gas, which I think is going to be sort of an issue just because the place that I normally go is outdoors. There's no roof and the guy stands out there and pumps gas. So that should be interesting. Really not for me, but probably for the guy. I kind of feel bad, but that's the gas station, really the only one that's on my way home from work, and I desperately kind of need gas. I probably won't make it much further, so we'll see how that goes. I don't know how the audio is right now with the rain. It's getting kind of, it's getting a little bit worse, so if that's all you're hearing is the raindrops, I definitely apologize. But once I'm done getting gas, I'm going to talk more about what it is like to drive in the rain. So I stopped and got gas, and the weather's been sucky and traffic's been sucky, and I'm just driving now, and I'm looking out my side view mirror here, and I can see the gas cap just dangling, like just floating out there. It's dangling. The door's shut and the cap is just kind of trapped in it, just dangling out there. So I understand that it was raining and the guy was getting wet, and like, I kind of don't begrudge him too much because I wouldn't want to be out there pumping gas when it's raining out, but like, you know, that's your job. You couldn't have just, you didn't even put the fucking gas cap back on. You just shut the door? I mean, man, all the little things really just fucking tick me off. So anyway, I've been driving in this shit show of a commute, and the weather and the rain and the thunder and the lightning and the wind, and it has just been a exercise in just not ramming myself into other cars or driving off the road at like really high speeds and just ending it all, because nobody knows what they're doing. And I don't know if I've said that already, because they just don't. It's amazing how when the raindrops start pouring that people just lose their fucking minds and have no idea how to operate a motor vehicle. Inclement weather in general, rain, snow, wind, all of that stuff, people like kind of forget certain aspects of how to drive and all of that stuff. Rain is like one of the more frustrating ones, because outside of like maybe a slight loss in visibility and certainly like the opportunity to maybe hydroplane a little bit, really if you just kind of go with the flow of traffic and don't drive like a maniac, you'll probably be safe. But people get so timid and so tight and so scared of the rain that it's just like, there's no need to be. There's no need to be, unless you're driving on like Super Ball tires and you know that they're bald, and the reason why you're driving timidly is because you know that if you like change lanes and there's a puddle that you will in fact hydroplane. Unless you know that for a fact, there's no need for you to drive scared. It's just rain, right? Obviously traction becomes slightly worse in rain depending on your tires and what you have going on, but it's not so much so. It's not like an ice storm. You're not driving in slush or driving on a sheet of ice. The ground is just wet. That's all it is. And if it's raining hard enough, which it hasn't gotten to the point yet where it's like you have your windshield wipers on full blast and you still can't see, then like, yeah, maybe you got to slow down or pull over the side of the road or put on your hazards or do those things. But there's also like a lot of things that you're doing that you shouldn't do, because some of the things that you're doing are actually worse for everybody else on the road. Like, I don't know, tapping on your brakes constantly. Like, try this on for size. Take your foot off the gas, right? Like, unless somebody in front of you has so drastically slammed on their brakes, there's a strong likelihood that you also don't need to slam on your brakes. if traffic in front of you started to slow down and you've given yourself enough room to kind of react to what's going on in front of you, if people are slowing down and you're paying attention, just take your foot off the gas. The car will slow down. That's science. It's physics. That's how cars work. They're heavy enough and the engines are geared in a way that when you take your foot off the gas, they slow down, especially when you're going fucking uphill. You don't need to hit your brakes going uphill. You don't. You take your foot off the gas and you're gonna drop 5 miles an hour really quick. So stop hitting your brakes when you're going uphill. And stop hitting your brakes because you're scared to drive in the rain. God forbid it's like icy or snowy or stormy out. If you don't know how to drive in the rain and you don't know how to drive in the snow and you're fucking scared, keep your ass at home. Don't get on the road. You're putting other people's lives at risk and you're also gonna give me a fucking coronary. There's a lot of things that people do on the road that make me really, really angry. Obviously, I think I've talked about a couple of them already, but hitting your brakes when it's unnecessary to hit your brakes, that's one of them. Pretending you're a race car driver and not using your blinker when you're getting in and out of lanes. Just not using your directional at all when you're changing lanes really fucking pisses me off because that's what it's there for. Like, that blinker is designed to let other people know, all of the people around you, what your intention is. So they can kind of plan ahead and be like, okay, but if you're just gonna drive 20 miles an hour faster than everyone else on the road and swerve in and out of lanes and not put on your blinker, I hope you find yourself flying through your windshield at some point because it's uncalled for. Tailgaters, just get off of my fucking ass. In all likelihood, if I'm driving slow enough for you to get up on my rear bumper, it's probably because there's somebody in front of me or multiple people in front of me that are driving slow. I usually do the speed limit plus 5 or 10. That's what I do. So if I'm driving too slow for you, then you're driving like an asshole. Plain and simple. Get off of my ass. Swerving lanes, getting way too close to a lane, or just absolutely invading someone else's lane. Don't fucking do that either. 9 times out of 10, it's because you're on your goddamn phone and not paying attention. And I will say that I'm being a little hypocritical because I'm kind of, my full focus and attention isn't on driving when I'm doing this. There's no way that it can be. I'm looking at the road, I'm looking at the camera, I'm looking at the road, I'm looking at the camera, but I'm not texting, I'm not emailing, I'm not messing with my phone. It's already been set up, it's already there. But I can't fully say or complain about people swerving due to being on their phones and not at least acknowledge the fact that, like, I might be doing a little bit of that too. Like, just stay in your lane. That's one of the easiest things in the world to do. My wife mentioned the other day that while we were driving, she was like, out of nowhere, she's kind of like, I just can't believe when you're in the left-hand lane how far to the left you stay in your lane. Well, yeah, I stay as far to the left in that lane, in the left-hand lane, because I know the person in the middle lane likely isn't gonna stay in the middle of that lane. At some point, they're gonna veer into my lane, and I wanna be as far away from those other fucking people as possible. It's like walking through a crowd. I wanna stay as far away from the other people and then maintain as much personal space as I possibly can. I'm staying as far to the right as possible without being on the fucking rumble strip. If I'm in the left-hand lane, ditto. If I'm in the middle lane, I'm trying to stay as middle in the middle lane as possible because I don't want anybody encroaching on me, and I want as much reaction time to get out of the way of those idiots that are ultimately going to invade that space as possible. Driving in a rainstorm and the traffic being much worse than it probably should be just because it's raining just brought all this stuff out. It's such a nightmare. Driving in just rain. It's water falling from the sky. Get over it. You can't walk through life being that scared and timid when, like, rain comes down or when it's thundering or lightning or when it's windy. And God forbid it is like winter, and luckily we're like months away from that, but I mean, maybe not that many months now. It's just August, but God forbid it's winter and these people are out on the road. Like, just stay home. I don't mind being on the road. Right? Like, I'm a little nervous when it's like really bad out and I can feel the car not doing the things I want it to do because it is that slippery. But again, some pretty basic things like keep your foot off the brake, don't jam on the gas, don't yank the wheel, and you'll probably stay pretty safe for the most part, right? My problem with being on the road in the winter in those storms is all of the other people that don't know what the fuck they're doing. Oh, man, driving in the rain, inclement weather, wet pavement, wet asphalt, wet highway. In my opinion, not that big of a deal. In that guy's opinion, he's having a bad day. He's having a tough time. He might shit his pants. What do you think about driving in inclement weather? When you drive in the rain, do you almost piss in your pants? Are you scared? Do you have to grip the steering wheel so tight that your knuckles turn white? Are you just completely laid back and doing like 100 and fuck everyone else? Or are you kind of like me where you're like, I can just go with the flow as long as everyone else goes with the flow. Just don't fucking jam on your brakes. Don't be a scaredy cat. And let's just all make it home safe and not cause a traffic jam. I think that's how I kind of basically feel about it. So let me know. Comment down below. Let me know what you think about driving in the rain. Let me know if there's anything else that you want me to talk about. And please subscribe to the channel. Pretty please. Thanks so much. And that's it.